Hi, this is Bill Raymond. I am creating a video just for the AI Masterminds group. This is an unlisted video, so you'll have to have the link in order to watch it. I am going to essentially do the equivalent of a live unboxing of the ChatGPT desktop because it was just made available. So here I am on my Mac. Now, you do need Apple Mac with an M series chip. So this is Apple's M1, M2, M3, and so on chipsets. And if you don't have that, unfortunately, and you're using Intel, then you can't use this. But here I am in ChatGPT. I am a Plus user. I'm going to go ahead and select my avatar here, and you'll see there's a download the Mac OS app link. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. That will download the app into the downloads area, and I'll open it up. I'll need to bring it over here so we can see it. And I will move ChatGPT over here to applications. And that should be done. And now I can type command space ChatGPT, hopefully, and press return. And it's going to ask if it's okay for me to open this because it was downloaded from the internet. I will say yes, open. And now here's the interesting thing. It does say continue with Google, sign up with email, or log in. So it does not look like this is an app that you can use if you're a free user that does not want to use email. So you have to log in. I'll go ahead and choose that. So it's bringing me to the web in order to log in to ChatGPT. And there, now we have a app showing up and it says introducing the launcher. So use the launcher to instantly ask ChatGPT anything, no matter what you're doing. You can upload files, take a screenshot, or take a photo. So it's saying press Option space on your keyboard. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this. And now I'm just going to ask a question first, or type a prompt. I'm just typing hello there. Okay, so it worked, and I noticed that it defaulted to ChatGPT 4.0. I'm wondering if I have others. Okay, so I have ChatGPT 4, and I have ChatGPT 3.5. Okay, that seems to work pretty cool. And also I'm noticing that it's not creating new chats here. Sometimes in the web browser, if you're changing the version of ChatGPT you're working with, it creates a whole new conversation. So that's interesting. I am also noticing that we do have our GPTs here, and I can explore GPTs. Okay, so all the GPTs are available here that were on the website. So I'll just go ahead and close that. I'm not going to play with GPTs at the moment. It looks like I can open up the sidebar so I can see my previous chats. So there they are right there. Now, this is something that's interesting that I'm noticing so far is that when you're on the website, I'm going to go back to the website. Notice all the GPTs that I'm signed up for right now. If I come over here, that sidebar does not show them. So that's kind of interesting. I am going to just see, though, that like if I choose, this is my GPT, and just type something. Okay. So what it did is it just created another conversation here, but what it's not doing is showing the GPT really. It's just I get the icon. So yeah, not going to see the GPTs on the side. Let's see what this little icon does up here. Little edit icon. Oh, okay. So this allows me to go into the GPT specifically, and I get a little bit more information here. So that's kind of neat. So if I go into, let's say, for example, the Culture of Innovation Guide by Veronica, I will see, let's say, I'll just go ahead and select that. Okay, so it does look like there are times when ChatGPT is not going to be that responsive. So it looks like if I click this little edit icon here, it will always bring me back to the home page of the GPT that I'm working on at the time. So let me just go ahead and select this again. Okay, there we go. So I think maybe ChatGPT isn't being very responsive. I don't think this has anything to do with this specific culture of innovation guide. Okay, so that's cool. So let me just go ahead and come up over here to the menu. Let's see, I see ChatGPT settings. Okay, looks like I can kind of do all the settings that are available when I go into settings in ChatGPT. I'm probably not going to go through all of these at the moment. What else is here? Check for updates. Okay, I'm up to date. That's good. File menu. I can choose new chat or temporary chat. And a temporary chat is basically something that won't store memories and things like that. It won't train on models if you happen to be using a free account. So that works. That's cool. So this is a temporary chat. Okay. And let's just go file new chat. I think I can probably do command N. Yeah, I can type command N for a new chat. So if I'm here, I type the command N key on my keyboard, then yeah, I can just start a new chat. It really looks like it likes to default to ChatGPT 4.0. Now let's see, what else do I have? I can close this window, which I think is, we know what that's going to do. Make bigger text. Oh, so that's nice. So you can do command plus, command minus, and probably command 0 to reset. All right. Anything in the window? Nope. And help. Okay. So that is interesting. Next, what shall I do? I will upload something. Let's go ahead and upload a file. And I'm going to go to my desktop. And you can see I have this International Monetary Fund report on AI. So I'll just go ahead and open that and see what happens. Summarize this for me. Okay, good. So it looks like it read the document and it's giving me a summarization. So that's good. So next I'm going to go ahead and upload a photo. Now it's going to ask to access my photo library. So I'm going to stop for a moment while I get that and then I'll come back. Okay, so what I've done is I've uploaded a photo that I just randomly took yesterday while I was walking through Golden Gate Park. I kind of like this building with all the pigeons on it. So I just snapped that sort of mid walk. And let's say, what do you see here? All right, so we have, this is an image of the Powell Street Park, ornate wooden structure, and also a large number of birds perched on power lines. Background includes residential buildings, bushes, and a clear sky. All right, well, that's pretty cool. So it managed to do that just fine. What else can I do? I want to take a screenshot. So you can see here, I have Keynote open, and I'm showing a slide from a deck that I'm creating. So I want to take a picture of that. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and choose this, choose take a screenshot, and I will choose Keynote. Okay, so it's asking for permission to record the screen in order to get the screenshot. So I have to go to System Settings, Privacy and Security, Screen and System Audio, and enable it. So I'll go and do that, and once I come back, I will tell you how that went. Okay, I went ahead and did that, and when it came up and asked me if it's okay, it said sure, but it made me quit and reopen ChatGPT, but it didn't do it at first because there's a pop-up dialog stopping it. So I kind of had to manually come back to ChatGPT, quit the app, and go back in. Now let's see if that works. Okay, it's taken a screenshot of that. Oh, here's something interesting. I happen to be using this feature in the Mac where an app is not exactly fully displayed, it's displayed sideways. And look at that, it did a screen capture that way too. Well, let me see what this says. Wow. Okay, so even though it's just took this tiny little picture over here, it did kind of figure it out. What I'm going to do is expand this, and then I'll bring ChatGPT over here above it. So it's not on the side. And we'll take a screenshot again of Keynote. There it is. Okay, it seemed to notice a lot more in this presentation view because it's not as small. So that's interesting. If you happen to be using this feature where you put all of your items to the side, it's actually going to take a screen capture of the little preview image instead of the actual image. Take a photo. Let's see what happens here. Okay, it wants me to enable camera settings, so I'll go ahead and do that. All right, once again, that was a little complicated because even though I got right to the settings and enabled it, I did have to try and quit ChatGPT and it didn't quite let me. So I'll try it again, take a photo. There I am. Now it's asking if it can have access to my photos. At this point, I'm not going to do that. I can choose that in another time. Um, what do you see here? Okay. All right, so that looks good. The next thing I'm just going to try, I think there were a number of different demonstrations showing this. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new numbers document and say um, 1, 2, 3. And now I'm just going to come over here. Let's get this on the screen and open up ChatGPT. And I'm going to come over here and take a screenshot of numbers. I'm going to say add up the numbers. Yeah, look at that. So that's kind of interesting. So it's going to be able to recognize a lot of what's going on the screen. I'm guessing that if I hand drew something on Photoshop, for example, maybe bring this over and create a new Photoshop file and then come over. I'm not used to using Photoshop in this way, but I'm just going to do this. And draw a stick figure. And maybe this person is waving. Whoops. Waving. And then maybe the arm is down here. Now let's ask ChatGPT what it sees. So I'll bring this over here and ChatGPT right here. And I'll create a new chat, Command N. I'm starting to use this already. And I will say, take a screenshot, Photoshop. What is this? Okay, it looks like it wasn't able to respond. What is this? Draw this person as a photorealistic image. I'm sure I'm not typing properly on my wireless keyboard. Huh, cool. There it is. So it looks like it enhanced the image a little bit, and maybe I could use that. So I think this is kind of cool. I'm sure that if I just selected this, I could drag it on to my desktop or something like this. Yeah, interesting. And I'm not sure that how easy it is to do that. But uh, at any rate, I think it will be interesting to see how this goes. I'm sure that there's some way for me to copy this. Maybe I can just copy it and then bring it into Photoshop. Let's see. Paste? No, no. So I'm not quite sure how I can get that image off of here. I'm dragging and dropping, right clicking copy, but I'm not sure how that works. Read your response out loud. Okay, it doesn't look like it can read responses out loud. And it does look like there's some chat with voice options. I have a meeting to jump into, so I'll come back and we'll see if we can explore those. And it does look like it's going to have to get access to my microphone. You can see what's happening here. It's basically trying to get access to everything that's on my Mac. Read that prompt out loud.
Sure. Here is the prompt read out loud. A photorealistic depiction of a person inspired by a stick figure drawing. The person should be smiling and holding up 2 fingers in a peace sign. The individual should have a friendly expression, casual clothing, and a relaxed posture. The background should be simple and unobtrusive, focusing on the person.
Okay, I'm back from my meeting. I'm just going to finish playing with this little microphone here to see if it can do anything else. So I'll click on it again. What is something interesting that happened this day in history?
On this day in history, May 30th, 1431, Joan of Arc was burned at the stake in Rouen, France. She was a young peasant girl who claimed to have received visions from saints instructing her to support Charles II and help liberate France from English domination. Joan played a crucial role in lifting the siege of Orleans, which became a turning point in the Hundred Years' War. Despite her achievements, she was captured by the Burgundians, sold to the English, and tried for heresy and witchcraft. Her death only heightened her status as a martyr, and she was later canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church.
That seems pretty dark. Is there anything more interesting?
Sure, let's go with something more uplifting. On May 30th, 1868, Memorial Day was first observed in the United States. Originally called Decoration Day, it began as a way to honor Union soldiers who had died during the Civil War. Over time, it evolved to commemorate all American military personnel who have died in service to their country. The day is marked by various traditions, including visiting cemeteries, holding parades, and hosting family gatherings. It's a day of remembrance and appreciation for the sacrifices made by those in the armed forces.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you want to know more or chat about something else, feel free to ask.
I'm going to go back to the microphone again. So I can pause that so she's not listening. I just said she because it sounded like a female voice. Okay, so now I'm going to click the icon up here that says I, and it's an informational icon. It looks like they're planning to launch a new voice mode, and we saw a lot of those demos if you've watched them on the OpenAI YouTube channel. But if I select Watch Demo, then it will give me more information. I'm not going to do that right now, but it looks like that's what we can do with voice. So I'll just choose got it, and then go back. There's one other thing that I noticed in this user interface is if you are in ChatGPT, let's go back here to ChatGPT, and you right click on these things, you'll notice that you just get browser elements like open link, um, copy link, things like that. That's not really what you get. If you want the menus, you hover over and there's these little toolbars, or there's a little new chat item. But I did notice that here, if I'm in the ChatGPT user interface, I can right click, I can rename the chat, share the chat, see details, archive, and delete. So that I think is kind of unique there. Wonder if I can click on my name. Yeah, okay, so I can get to my name and choose settings, and I can also log out as well as see my email address. So that's a quick tour of the ChatGPT user interface on the Mac. It's not that different than what you can do on the browser, but maybe a little bit more interactive. Maybe you don't need to do a screen capture, save that screen capture to a file, and then go into the browser and upload it. If you were to do the screen capture, for example, in that way on the browser, it would just work fine. The chat option with the voice is pretty good, and that's something that I'm used to on the iPhone. So it's basically providing a lot of functionality. Keep this in mind. Just in this little demo, it's asked for access to all of my files. It's asked for access to my photos, my microphone, and it's also asked to be able to take control of my screen, which is basically what Zoom does if you want to share your screen so that it can actually, or snag it to take a screen capture. So a lot of apps do that so that they can record your screen, but they might also, for example, record your keyboard strokes and things like that. So this is something that could be very exciting, but could also be a little scary too. So it's something to consider. I didn't see much in this app that I can't do on the browser, but of course, since it's integrated with my operating system, it's a little bit easier. So I hope you found that to be useful.